come in. Nice to be proven right.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've been playing very well. The performance has been very good. It's just about getting the results, and it's a great way to go into the international break with this result.
And Neil, we saw the emotion come pouring out of you when you got that goal. First for Everton, what did it mean?
It means a lot. Obviously, I'm very happy, but first and foremost, the win is the main thing for us. I think, like Alex said, we've been good. We've been playing well, and it was just a matter of time. So I'm happy for the win, happy for my goal, and hopefully we can build on it.
What had the poor corner flag done wrong? You kicked that up in the air, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it was in a way really like glad it wasn't West Ham players, because I would have done the same.
Alex, all about the sharp pass in though, wasn't it, for that goal? I'm glad you remember. Anything I can do to create chances for my team, and I trust my players to hit the back of the net, and he was able to do that.
Yeah, in all seriousness, Neil, your first Everton goal, I mean, it was a very good one as well. First touch the key?
Always the key, the first touch. If the first touch is good, then you can have an easier finish. We've got very good players on the midfield, on the wing, and I trust them to make the difference. And I've got to be there to just finish. Great pass from Alex, good first touch, and good goal. But I'm just happy for the team because it's been coming, and we work hard every day. Last week we didn't play, but we had a very good week of training, and I think we deserve it.
Yeah, Alex, another big performance from you in midfield. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like Frank Lampard came in, he changed your position and potentially the entire direction of your Everton career. Fair?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't go off to a great start, but I've always had the mindset that I can try and prove people wrong, and the manager's given me faith to do so, and it allows me to express myself like I do in training and just to bring it to matches. So I've been doing that. I just have to repay the faith.
Why does that position suit you? Had you played it before?
It's what I came up through as an academy player. I always like to get the ball going forward and get on the half turn. So I do find it easier when I'm in midfield to drive up the pitch.
And for you, Neil, how key is it to get that goal early? You've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been out injured for a little while. The club lost Richarlison in the summer. Did you feel under pressure to hit the ground running?
I wouldn't say I feel under pressure because I know my job. I know I've got to score, and you know that's why they brought me in. But yeah, I needed this goal because I haven't played much the last month. In the end at Brighton, I wasn't playing. Then I came here pretty late, so that was only my second game of the season. So I needed this goal, and I know everyone at the club want me to do well and score goals. But like I said, I'm here to help, and I trust my teammates to put me in the right position to score. Last week or 2 weeks ago, actually, when I didn't score against Liverpool, they all said it doesn't matter. Like, you played well, you give everything, so it's fine for us. And today I get the rewards, and I'm just happy for them.
Well, you definitely helped today. Well done, both of you.
Yeah,
cheers, thank you.
He certainly did get his reward, Neil Maupay. Very important so early into your career up there to get that first goal and get off and running.
Yeah, and it was a good finish. I don't think finishing is absolute forte. I said before the Liverpool game, I think he's got a touch of class, this lad, and it's not a bad buy for Everton. It didn't cost too much, about 15 million, I think. He doesn't convert a lot of his chances that he gets, but he didn't have many today, and he converted it very, very well. And I think Everton have lacked a centre-forward, a consistent one for some time. They're quite thin on the ground for numbers up there as well. Calvert-Lewin, as we all know, is quite injury-prone. Rondon, is he, you know, the main man? Probably not. He's an impact player, so they needed strength in that area, and he's come in, and I think he's led the line well in 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown some decent form for Brighton, but he would say a class finisher. He needs a lot of chances to put the ball in the back of the net. I look at him and I saw today when he got turned on the first touch. That's how he scores his goals. For me, the chances he misses at Brighton is the first time finishing, which is sometimes the hardest. You know, you've got to have a good touch, yeah, but those ones that are coming across the box, Michael would know more than anyone. Those first time ones, you've got no time to think. You've got to take it first time. He doesn't finish them very well. Today, he got that ball fed into him, gets turned nicely, it sits up beautifully, as we'll see in a minute, I'm sure. And the finish, the technique was excellent. So I think if he can just start getting more confidence and get those first time finishes, he might not get that many chances at Everton, certainly not as many as Brighton create. But he's got to become more clinical, and if he does, then it's going to be a turn into a fantastic buy for Everton.
Let's have a look at that finish then, Michael. Talk us through it, because he hadn't actually scored in the Premier League since February. It didn't look like it here.
No. Onana actually takes Souček away and then allows that sort of ball into his feet, and I was really impressed with the tight touch here. He's got 3 men around him, and he manages to take a good touch and turn all in one movement, all right on the edge of the box. Look how tight that is. He's in a real small area. And he shifts his feet perfectly as well. This is a better angle. How he shifts his feet quickly and then strikes it. Lovely touch. It just pops up as well. If that ball is on the ground, he doesn't get this power and he doesn't score. But because it just pops up off the ground, he gets a lot cleaner effort at it, and in which case you get a lot more power. Beautiful finish. And as Glenn says, he's capable, but his chance conversion wouldn't have been the greatest over the years. But today, 1 chance, 1 finish. You can't ask more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the technique, as we saw, he brushed the top of the ball. If you see the ball, it's got topspin on it from behind here. Look, as it pops up, it's beautiful the way he's not really hit it that much with his instep. It's a little bit of both. But watch how the topspin comes. He brushes the top of the ball so it comes over and you get more power that way. Gets to the target quicker, and that's all done in a split second. And it was a really good finish. Probably a finish that needed to lift the game like that. But pretty dour game. Everton deserved to win, but we've seen better games overall. 90 minutes. Let's be honest.
And it wasn't until late on when David Moyes made a couple of changes, West Ham seemed to have a go at Everton, and they had a couple of opportunities in that period, didn't they?
They did, yeah. He made a few substitutions to try to change the game. West Ham here started pressing them quite high. Cornet came on and had a couple of chances himself, but this one in particular, Ben Rama with his left foot curling, he does absolutely nothing wrong. They do great to pinch the ball off Everton, and then he uses the last Everton defender to bend it round, and just a bit of bad luck.
It's just a few things there that I saw from Everton. They were too loose late on in their game. That's the one thing I think Frank would like to tighten up. Decore came on and in the end wanted to get involved in the play going forward, and they left open spaces. And we've seen the two chances that West Ham create. Everton were a little bit too loose, but in the end, that's great defending from Patterson. He just gets back. He's in a good position, obviously, to get there. Cody can't get there, but look at that. Just comes and gets the last second touch that probably saves the day for Everton rather than getting the win instead of getting a point. But
3 goals West Ham have scored.
Yes, they've got a problem.
Joint lowest scorers with Wolves.
Yeah, they've got a problem. I see a team that haven't quite yet had their mojo, their sort of rhythm that they've had the last 2 seasons. I don't see that at the moment, and I think the new signings have not settled yet. So they've got to get them in and bed them in. If not, I think David will go back to the players he trusts, the players he knows, and go back to how they played. I felt West Ham looked better in a back 3 when they played in a back 3. When they started it a couple of seasons ago, they looked hard to beat, and they looked as if they knew that what they were doing as a unit, and they broke quickly. And I think you'll find them possibly go back into a back 3.
Interesting. Let's get some West Ham. No goals then at Goodison at half-time between Everton and West Ham. Suffice to say, it's not the finest 45 minutes we've seen in the Premier League so far this season. What have you made of it?
No, it's not been the greatest game, Steve, but Everton have tried. They put a lot of energy into it. Maybe the final pass or the final selection of pass hasn't been perfect. West Ham, I've been quite disappointed with them. They've had an awful lot of corners, but in general terms, it's been Everton that I would say that have shaded that first half. And Frank Lampard will definitely be the happier manager going in, but no real clear-cut chances that they're creating. And you see why they're the current draw specialists in the league at the moment.
Yeah, it's a reoccurring theme for Everton. He's obviously concentrating on getting the defensive foundation correct, but that creativity, that spark just isn't there.
They've had territorial possession, but it's been bitty, isn't it? And Michael's right. They're the team that's been on the front foot. You'd expect that. But it's just that little bit of calmness, that one pass, that last cross, that bit of quality that they haven't quite found yet. They'll be looking for that second half, and I think Frank will be more pleased than maybe David, but in some ways, the way West Ham have played today, they've been quite poor. And I've got to say, David would be quite happy that they're still 0-0, and there's more to come from West Ham. I'm sure David would be saying at half-time, you're better than this, guys. We've got to play thread some passes together. There's a lot of players for West Ham today. I'm thinking they've not even had any effect on the game at all. Go out there second half and affect the game. So I think this game is still very much in a balance.
And I'll tell you where Everton have improved is at the back. I mean, they've looked quite soft in recent times at the back, I've always felt. But with Cody and Tarkowski now, you know, it just feels like they've got the gritty centre-halves, the experienced centre-halves. And OK, there might not be much pace between them, but I think with all that experience, they've got years and years and years of experience in the Premier League. They all of a sudden have that robustness, and they don't really look... I mean, I'm talking 8 corners that West Ham have had. They've not even looked like scoring from one. And I just feel as if they're quite experienced and know what they're doing back
They
there.
look like 2 centre-backs, English, that are going to communicate.
Yeah.
Really give the old school, talking together. So you end up playing as a unit as 2 centre-backs. We'll talk about that as strikers, but, you know, they're on the same page, they're covering each other, and that sometimes gets you over the line of lack of pace, in being in the right position.
Because a you know, great player will always beat them, Steve, but I don't think they'll give you goals easily. And I think Everton have been, you know, guilty of that in recent seasons, given away a few goals.
You say Everton have really tried. You spotted one particular instance where perhaps they could have been a little braver?
Yeah, exactly. Just towards the end as well. Me and Glenn were watching on the tactical screen, and we spotted some top of the screen. Demarai Gray makes a great run from out to win. And I think if Anthony Gordon's a little bit braver and he just clips that over, Glenn, I think that they could be in. But as a second option even, I think they go for the safest option of the 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with keeping the ball, what Gordon does. He tucks a little blind ball into feet, but there's a diagonal option. But the one that takes the whole of West Ham's back 4 out with one pass is what you're saying, Michael.
That's the first one.
That first one, Demarai Gray, and Cresswell's got himself in an awkward position as well, playing him on. And, you know, you dink that ball in and you're one-on-one with the keeper. And that's what we're talking about, that little bit of quality in the last third.
Yeah, it's not a bad ball in the end. I mean, it's into a front man's feet. It bypasses the midfield, but I think it's the 3rd best option. I think that first one, Gray's run, is a brilliant one. And how many times do we see that run nowadays with wide players? They used to stay out wide, with the likes of Mo Salah nowadays, out to win. It really kills a defender. And if Gordon had spotted it, you know, they could have been in business.
It's been a difficult game, isn't it? Let's be fair to watch. We've sat there and we've analysed it as well as we can. But we've got to be honest, sometimes when it's a great game, it's fabulous. But there's room for improvement from both teams for different reasons. And I think we'll see a better second half. Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Everton yet to have a shot on target. West Ham, the only team in the Premier League this season who haven't scored a first